Hello and welcome to the 11th episode of the 8-6 podcast, hosted by Half-Past 8 and Swag Rabbit. Our top story today, Dodge turns the Ram up to 11 with the new Rumblebee lineup. Meanwhile, BMW sends off this generation of the M3 with a manual-only version, while Lotus offers an even sportier version of their Emira, however it's pronounced. And it looks like Dodge might bring back the Viper with a new name and some new looks. First, that Rumblebee, and you have things to say, so I'll let you take it away.
I do, and I'm going to go off on a little bit of a tangent. I'm going to be honest with you because I'm a huge Dodge fan. So this is the handiwork of a guy named Tim Kuniskis, and this is a long line of cool shit that he has done for this company and basically kept the company from going into bankruptcy, even though Stellantis insists on doing stupid shit behind his back. So this guy's name is Tim Kuniskis. And he is the godfather of the Hellcat. Not kidding. He started with Dodge, if I remember correctly, around 2011 and started working immediately on it. At 2011, they had the first generations where they brought back they were 5 years into having brought back the Charger. They didn't really know what they were going to do with it. This guy comes in and goes, we're going to completely redo everything. He brought back the Challenger with the V8, got it a new body style, did everything he could to make the thing awesome, started working on it. So they got about, I think, 3 years in, and then all of a sudden in 2013 or 2014, they started introducing the newer models and started putting crazy ass engines on them. So you went from the 5.7, which most of them had, to the 6.4 Hemi, which was just a powerhouse. And then he took the 6.4 and made it into the supercharged monster with 700 horsepower that we all know today. In 2024, alongside them killing both muscle cars and deciding that the future was electric because Stellantis stepped in and kind of forced his hand, he retired. Like a year and a half later, Stellantis is facing major backlash on this, and they're just finding out that the electric car isn't going to sell that well and hasn't been selling that well. And so they brought him back in as the CEO of Dodge, or from the CEO of Dodge, he became the CEO of Ram. And now Ram is doing a ton of cool shit, and Dodge is going, maybe we should start bringing back all those engines. But for right now, he's in charge of Ram and Jeep. But when I say this guy put Hellcats in everything, he put, let's just run down the list real quick. The Jeep Trackhawk was his idea. I believe it was also his idea to just sell the engine and trans to anybody that wanted it and could afford it. From the Hellcats and the Helephants, the Helephant being the 1,000 horsepower version of the motor. And then he did the Charger and Challenger, both got Hellcat models. The Dodge Durango got a Hellcat, and the Ram TRX all got Hellcats in them.
Damn.
That was all him. That was all his baby. So yes, I'm a super nerd when it comes to this guy. He is like my personal hero because he just went, the fuck are we doing? Let's just put Hellcats in everything. Let's just fucking outdo the competition in every way we can. And that's what he's done.
Yeah, with the fastest pickup truck ever made. Wasn't the last one like the GMC Cyclone? Something like that?
Probably. If you're talking about strictly muscle trucks, I think the TRX probably took like the fastest top speed. Most likely. Because that was 700 and something horsepower. We can look it up. But yeah, since he's been back as the leader of Ram, they are making a ton of changes to the company. They decided to make this line of muscle trucks, which I honestly hope that Dodge leads the way for both Chevy and Ford to do the same thing with a line of muscle trucks. That would be fucking awesome to have them all competing on this. And then he's bringing back the TRX. The TRX almost got canceled, or I think did get canceled, and they decided they're going to start bringing that back too. So now they have a muscle truck version of this truck and an off-road focused version of this truck. as well as they're announcing, I believe, another Durango, possibly with this. And he made one last change to the Ram line, the 2500 Power Wagon, which is this. It started as military trucks, and then they brought it to the civilian market, made little changes, and then now it's a like high trim off-roading version of the 2500. It's always been a gas motor. They're now making that into a Cummins diesel, or they're offering it with a Cummins diesel, which means that's going to change the game for that truck as well. This dude, just everywhere he goes, awesomeness ensues. I'm gonna nerd out about it. That's just how it is.
Nice. Well, this certainly looks like a beast. The base trim has the 5.7 with almost 400 horsepower. And I also like it doesn't have stop start. Stop start is finally dead. We can stop putting that dumb shit in everything.
Show me the interior. Show me, please, baby, what I'm looking for. Have it. So I was hoping to see a gear lever like the old school. Well, actually, no, that has a shifter in the middle, so that is different.
It's not a
One
manual.
thing I do, no, it's not a manual. I'm not looking for a manual. But what I am looking for is not having the fucking knob to shift the car. Because I can send you a picture later. Our fucking 2500 that I just spent 2 weeks driving a trailer around with has a fucking knob selector. And it's terrible.
Oh, that thing.
Yes, I hate these. If you're gonna have an automatic, it either needs to be a fucking shifter like that, or it needs to be a behind the wheel fucking up and down like vertical shifter. You know what I mean?
Well, good news, it's got paddles.
It
So
is a muscle truck, so I'm expecting this, but the gear selector was gonna annoy me.
the real question that I have is the suspension, because trucks, generally, even rear-wheel drive trucks, can tend to understeer, as I understand it.
So I don't know anything about the suspension on this car. I will say this is not going to be an off-road car. This is not going to be for anybody that owns a farm, and it's not going to be for anybody that likes to drag anything. This is purely going to be a powerhouse kind of truck.
Oh yeah, it's got four-wheel drive with, and you can disconnect the center diff and put it rear-wheel drive. It's what's really fun is the like high-end trim with. It's got a 6.4, which puts at 470, and then there's, I think it's the supercharged 6.4, which puts out, yeah, a supercharged 6.2 liter Hellcat engine putting out 777s.
Yes.
My word, that sounds like fun.
So 3 trims. This truck is effectively, do you want the 5.7, which is their bottom dollar V8? Not bottom dollar, but you know what I mean. Fucking the bottom of the barrel for Dodge V8. You want the 6.4, which is now the middle of the road, or do you want the 6.4 with all the goodies on it, which is the good one?
3.4 seconds, 0 to 60.
This is going to be the new, I'm going to show off, because people are never going to drive this truck in rear wheel drive ever, except when they're trying to leave car shows. This is going to be the new Mustang for a little while, I have a feeling. Any version of this truck is going to be the new Mustang, because they'll all spin tire like that.
And it gets off the line faster than a Cybertruck, so fuck you, Tesla tards. It's my own personal, like, I'm sick and fucking tired of hearing people talk about how amazing EVs are. It's like,
they're not.
They're not.
They're straight line machines. Weren't you just having people crash out in Teslas at an autocross event you were just at?
I will discuss that, but first, dollar for dollar, yes, they get off the line a little bit faster, but EV cultists like to act like it's something that's unique to that powertrain. It's not. You can actually, for not too much difficulty, build a combustion engine that can equal or surpass that performance. It's not that hard.
And also,
ICEs are just gimped by emissions restrictions.
yeah, effectively. And also, the other thing is, I don't give a shit about dollar for dollar. I want cool, and Teslas are not. And this is not an indictment on fucking, well, it's more of an indictment on electric cars, because in the hierarchy of electric cars, as far as I'm concerned, Teslas are the top of that hierarchy, but the entirety of electric cars can die and I won't care.
Yes, I autocrossed this weekend in the rain. 2 people brought Teslas, and I remember distinctly they spun out. In fairness, everybody was spinning out. I spun out twice. It was a shit show. But what was interesting about the Teslas was that they didn't stop once they spun out. There's
They're
one
too heavy, bro.
corner.
Once they're sideways, they just go.
They're too heavy, and they don't have brakes. Or, they have emergency brakes, and aside from that, it's just the regeneration, which can't handle those conditions. So
Yeah.
they're coming around a corner. A couple people are spinning out in this corner, but the Teslas would spin out, and they just keep going. Like most of the time, pretty much everybody else could bring the car to a stop fairly quickly. You put both feet in, you're good. These fuckers would just sail off the runway and into the grass.
That's not surprising at all.
Yeah.
With how heavy those fucking cars are, it's ridiculous.
11.6 second quarter mile.
That's going to be insane to see.
That's by the way, going to be terrifying to see, because, I love these things, but I feel like we talk about this a lot on this podcast. Any kind of expensive, impressive, high-end trim vehicle inevitably gets bought up by a bunch of people who
that
just look at the numbers. Yeah. I fear that's what's going to happen to these. And the problem is, they say it's faster than an M3. The problem is an M3 doesn't weigh 2.25 tons or 2.5.
The first thing, it doesn't matter what Dodge puts on the brakes on these things. It doesn't matter what type of brakes Dodge puts on them. These are going to need brake upgrades before you do anything serious with them. And
they're not going to get them. We're going to start seeing videos of these things getting floored from the light and then just spinning out and crashing. But in the hands of actually responsible owners, holy shit!
Okay, these are most certainly going to be stolen a lot, and these are also most certainly going to be cars that people run from the cops with, and it's going to end badly for a lot of people.
Honestly, I'd love to drive one of these, but I don't think I could ever own one, even if I had the money for it. Just because it would be terrifying.
If I had infinite money, I'm just gonna say it right now, I would own probably all 3 versions of this just to see what I could do with the lower trim versions. There are now 3 of you on Streamlabs. That's kind of crazy. I would own all. Okay, now there's 4 of you. What the fuck is happening with Streamlabs? I would own all 3 of these. I'd own a TRX, and then I'd own every other Hellcat car on the market just to have them, and just to look at them. I wouldn't care. I'd almost never drive the fucking things except to go to a local meetup or something.
And it is a looker. It's
dude, the entire lineup looks good. The way they're squatted, even the 5.7 looks like a fucking fun car to drive.
Body on frame too. The interior is not bad.
The interior looks great. Fuck, I had something I was gonna say and I forgot what I was gonna say. But yeah, these trucks look incredible.
Digital gauge cluster, but
I remember what I was gonna say.
I've got to give up that fight.
Yeah, unfortunately you kind of do.
Yeah.
Okay, I reset my Streamlabs. Is that better now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I do remember what I was gonna say though. I have a feeling these are gonna be very popular in Drag Week.
Yes.
People are going to come out with drag week. These are going to be the most popular thing on the market because they have a tow hitch already. So it'll be very easy for people to just take them stock to the track, race all weekend, have fun. Like for people that don't take it, like I have to fucking be first kind of people, just the ones that go for the event.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be a very easy, let me take this, let me put a tow hitch on it, drag a super light trailer with some more parts and some more tires. And it's got the bed already, so I'm not driving a full fucking like tube car.
Yeah.
And then dragging a trailer with it.
It is a shorter bed than is standard for these vehicles, but I mean it's plenty big. And as mentioned, this is not something that you buy to do work in.
This is not a runaround vehicle. Not even the 5.7 version of this is a runaround vehicle. These are very much for the people that want a truck that's going to be undeniably fast no matter which trim you get.
Ooh. It says an e-spool differential. We'll have to see how reliable that is. That can electronically lock the rear axle. So you have a button for a welded diff. Oh, these things are going to be fun.
So there are already, I mean, the off-roading thing, you can either get out of the vehicle. There are some where you have to actually like twist the hub in order to lock them. And then the more expensive systems off-roading vehicles just allow you to press a button on the dash and it'll lock everything for you. So they're just taking shit that already exists and using it for slightly different uses, which is awesome. It's the way it should be.
In this case, it's going to be for drifting.
Yeah, so I love how they have
these things.
They now have the exact same truck in two different specs. They have a off-roading spec, which is the TRX, and then they have this, and they both have the same output. They're both for drastically different uses, though.
As it should be.
As it should be. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. I think they just need to drop the mixed body Charger Challenger thing and then just go back to having two of them.
Yeah. All right. You got anything else?
Besides the fact that I'm super stoked for the future of Dodge, if this is like they haven't even announced everything they're gonna do yet. We're about to talk about one, but they've still got a Jeep they need to unveil. They're doing another version of the it's called the Scrambler. I have a feeling it's a very off-road oriented trim, either trim or whole nother chassis style. And then Chrysler's got a few things they need to come out with. So all in all, I'm very excited about the future of if Stellantis doesn't make bad decisions, Tim Kuniskis will lead us.
If Stellantis doesn't make bad decisions, and if Stellantis can get their fucking reliability under control, because
there are reliability issues, but we can still throw more stones at Ford than we can at Dodge. Let's be real.
Although Ford looks to be getting their shit together, but that is for another episode, I think.
I'm sure they're working on it. They've needed to work on it for quite a while.
So moving on to other Dodge products. The
Yes.
Copperhead, which is going to be their new generation Viper. So the Dodge Viper, my favorite thing about the Dodge Viper is that Dodge decided they would rather kill it completely than compromise on the design vision.
I do have something to say about that. Yeah, you do. You really have to put the respect on their name for being able to kill a product before they had to turn it into a monstrosity.
Mm-hmm.
Chevy should have done that for the Corvette before they came out with a new one. The Corvette should have died as a front engine rear wheel drive car. Instead, they changed it to look like a Ferrari, but kept the name. I like what Dodge is doing with this. I think it's cool that they're coming out with a new line because they don't want to get rid of the raw awesomeness of the Viper.
Yeah. This, I mean, everyone's coming out with these sports cars. This is amazing. What I hope is that they don't gimp it. Don't gimp it. Take advantage of the fact that we finally have an administration that is smacking down the EPA. Put a big ass V12 in it, and just big ass V12. Barely any driver assists. Like, you get ABS, and that's it.
They might as well
And
just
then
brought back
just-
the Viper in that case. I have a feeling there's going to be more driver assists than the Viper had.
Yeah.
But the reason they're killing the Viper is because they can't go balls to the wall, even with the new EPA. So what I'm hoping to see out of this, in one of the Out of There articles I sent you, it looks like they're going to do a V8, but it's going to be a high output. The Viper had a V10. I don't think there was ever going to be a hope of seeing a V12 in this car from factory. Would have been cool, but I don't think it's ever going to happen. I don't think Dodge has ever experimented with V12s as far as I know of. They took the Viper engine one time, the V10, and put it in a Dodge 15 or Ram 1500.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. So the Dodge 1500 Daytona. What was this thing called? It was Dodge Viper engine. Okay, it was the SRT10. Yep.
Yeah.
There's a single cab only, awesome truck.
I will say I take exception to this article's title. No.
So if this is supposed to be the spiritual successor for the Viper, its direct comparison in anything should not be the Miata.
Yeah, no. This is written by somebody that hasn't driven either vehicle.
This is written by somebody who has no idea what they're talking about, but got a job writing articles for a car magazine. This is what I was talking about with all their announcements, though.
In what way is the Dodge fucking Viper anywhere near a competitor to the Mazda Miata? Where do you get that from? They're completely they appeal to completely different market segments. Like,
yeah, a Miata can be bought for $15K or less, and a Dodge Viper can't be bought for less than $110. So where's the comparison here? It's not even the same market.
So 1997 concept. Okay, so they're talking about the original concept for the Copperhead, which was a 2.7 liter V6 making 220 horsepower in 97. And I suppose,
which for 97 is a pretty good car.
Yeah, if they curb weight of 2,800 pounds.
That's a little heavy, but you know.
Yeah, if I don't know, that could maybe be in a similar market segment to the Miata, but the problem is that can't be what Dodge is trying to do here. Dodge is not going to sell a car that small with that low of an output. I mean, they're building themselves around these massive, big block, high output engines.
That's not all they're doing. They've kind of announced that everything we know about this car, one, it's a spiritual successor to the Viper. Two, it's supposed to be competing with the ZR1X. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to compete with the ZR1X and the Mustang GTD. You cannot make this a spiritual successor to the Viper, be competitive at that level, and be compared to Miata.
Yeah.
It's just not how that works.
No. He's been an automotive journalist since 2014.
He has learned absolutely nothing in that time.
Think he would have given up by now, but he's still...
Well, journalists never give up unless they're sued out of existence, so to be fair. That is a sexy picture.
Unfortunately, it is also ChatGPT.
That is not surprising to me, but it's still a sexy picture. If that's anything like what this thing could look like, it's not very good.
It's not. It's they took the so it sounds like Car and Driver got an early look. Dodge took a bunch of Car and Driver journalists and said, "We're going to let you look at our design. You can't use any images, but you can use the description in the article, and then everyone else is riffing off of that. And what they did is they punched in car driver's description into ChatGPT, and that's what we have here. Which okay.
I'm gonna be honest. I'd rather it look close to this than close to the '97 concept, because the '97 concept is fucking ugly.
Well, yeah, but it's not going to look anything like this.
That was Viper wannabe car before the Viper became what it was.
Yeah. So we don't have too much information on this, aside from the fact that it's coming, but I look forward to seeing more of it. As we fill out more enthusiast-oriented vehicles, it's good to go back to these absolutely bonkers, batshit insane things where we just take a 2,800-pound chassis and cram a like 700 or 1,000 horsepower 6-liter V8 into it, and just
Agreed.
Go ham.
If they're gonna try to compete with the ZR1X, I see this thing having no less than 800 horsepower.
Yeah. 800 horsepower, probably a copious amount of driver aids, but will probably also have a track mode that turns most of that off. So
I could see that.
Yeah.
I see them trying to make a time trial car.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be a great time trial car. Assuming it's not just like a giant lump of iron. It's not like 4,000 pounds. If they keep it to what the Viper was, which is incredibly lightweight for its size, it'll be an amazing time trial car. If they make it 4,500 pounds, then no. So we'll see. Moving on to BMW. So this is the M3 CS Handschalter. No idea what that means. I don't speak German. It's their sort of last, ultimate, final. Here's the culmination of this generation of the M3. It comes with a 6-speed manual, an FR layout, and less power.
So this has been the hot boy car since these came out, and I gotta say, the body style has not grown on me a bit. It's great. Like the driving experience of the car grew on me quite a bit. I got to drive one of these as a rental when a couple of my friends were in town, and I got to drive one of these that somebody I know owns. They're fantastic driver's cars. I don't want to look at that in my garage all the time.
I don't hate it except for the nostrils. The nostrils
it looks like a set of lungs.
The snout that this thing has is probably if they cleaned up this front end, I would like it a lot.
It's not a snout, it's a schnoz.
Their ultimate final send off has less power, and I know I'm not gonna say I know why that is, but I'm pretty sure that I have a good idea of why that is. You remember a couple episodes back, we were talking about BMW phasing out the manuals because they didn't want to invest in making manuals that could handle more and more power?
Well, that's exactly the reason for this.
Yeah.
They're probably using the same transmission with maybe slight reinforcements from the last generation models, or the last body models of them.
I mean, it's the same engine. They literally just electronically limited it, which means there's a ton of power to be gained by tuning these things, but you might not want to do that because
the last generation M2 cars, like the F80 M2s, which are, this is the G style. The last one were the F body style. The M4, the M2, and the M3 from those years all had basically the same engine. So you got an M2, and it was a severely detuned version. You literally put a downpipe and a tune on that, and you got 100 horsepower out of it immediately. It's like fucking, it was, I'm not kidding, probably $5,000, you put 100 more horsepower in the car.
Yeah.
These cars are extremely tunable. They're easy to do. That's why everybody loves them.
But if this is being electronically limited because the transmission can't handle it, you might not be able to get very far if you did that. Love the interior aside from the iPad Dash. It's
I have a
got
feeling somebody will correct the transmission, but BMW doesn't want to spend the money on a one-off, which I understand.
well, they don't want to spend the money on manual transmissions, period, which
They want to retire them, but they know they can't retire them completely. They're going to have to keep bringing them back because people want them. And so in order to keep interest, they're doing shit like this.
and BMW unfortunately didn't they if I remember correctly, they killed the Z's entirely. And they're
Yes.
never or I don't think they're ever going to make like a roadster again. A small, compact, two-seater coupe with less
No.
horsepower and a manual. They're not going to do that because the people that buy BMWs want the big power numbers.
The people that buy BMWs don't really buy anything but sedans, like sports sedans. It's the same reason why Mercedes has quit doing it, and so has Audi. Audi makes the TT and the R8, but they're probably going to drop the TT sooner than later. The R8 is their supercar, so they're not going to drop that.
And also, nobody who is interested in BMWs is going to buy like a roadster with 360 horsepower because they're going to look at it and go, well, why would I buy a BMW that only has 360 horsepower? Because people who buy BMWs just want big power numbers, irrespective of the fact that the cars nowadays have so many electronic assists that you don't ever get to experience any of the power. I mean, look at the number of people. I mean, this article is not quite a full example of this, but it does make note of, oh, well, it's disappointing that it's dropped some power for the sake of the manual transmission. It's a better driving experience with a little less power, but everyone's focusing on the little less power rather than the better driving experience.
This is the TikTok clout car. Of course, they're only worried about power. It's just that's what these cars have become. Unfortunately, I really like the F80 chassis. Like, I want an F80 M2 and an F80 M3.
Yeah.
If I can afford them, I'll buy the comp versions of those cars. They're fantastic cars. I'd only buy them in manual. I don't care about anything else. I'm not in it for the power. I'm in it for the driving. But it started with the F series cars. The G80 cars are just TikTok cars at this point. The only people that buy them are fucking kids that want the clout.
Well, and unfortunately, it seems like nowadays, if you're the kind of person that wants the driving experience and doesn't care as much about the power, the only place to go is Japan. Maybe Korea,
pretty much,
but Japan. Because the Japanese, and to a lesser extent the Koreans, are the only people that are making those, cars where it's like, okay, we'll come back on the power a bit because our focus is just on an amazing driving experience. And I'm going to stand by this somewhat spicy take. An 8.6 with 200 or 230 horsepower, depending upon generation, with the when you do the pedal dance, you turn everything off, gives you a closer experience to driving something that's actually powerful, gives you a better experience of power than a BMW because of the assists.
Definitely a current model.
Because and this is kind of a little bit of a tangent, but it's related, so I'll go on it. All these people, all these kids, really, on Instagram, on TikTok, the clout chasers you talk about, their whole spiel, their whole shtick about 400 horsepower is barely into power, 500 horsepower is slow, going, it has to be about the numbers, bigger numbers, bigger numbers, bigger numbers. The reason they say this is because they drive this shit around, and it's like max traction control, max stability control, all the safety assists on. You don't know that 500. You can't say that 500 horsepower is slow because you aren't experiencing 500 horsepower.
Yeah, you're experiencing you're experiencing fucking 500 horsepower with max traction control on, trying to save you at all times. And in the case of the G80 series of cars, like the M3s are all-wheel drive most of the time. people almost never put them to rear-wheel drive. When you put them to rear-wheel drive, they load a whole new map, and then these people they're trying to slide out of car shows and shit, and so they put it on rear-wheel drive for the first time, and then they turn off everything that saves them, and they spin it out immediately. It's like every fucking time.
Yeah, because that's what 500 horsepower is without
Yeah.
Weenie Hut Jr. mode. Which is
Weenie Hut
why
Junior mode is well, I'm sorry, I can't.
that's what it is. That's what you take a 500 horsepower engine and you put all these electronic assists into it.
Yeah.
That's not the 500 horsepower experience. You don't know what 500 horsepower is like because you're being taken on a guided tour of the driving experience.
It's true.
Go get in a I mean, hell, if you really want to know what like raw big power is, I had the opportunity to do this once, and it was amazing. Get in an FRS with the Edelbrock supercharger kit and a proper tune for that thing, and like a proper exhaust and everything. 380 horsepower in a car that weighs like 2,600 pounds with no electronic assists. I promise you that is going to be a better and more exhilarating experience than you're going to get in your like Instagram, TikTok, clout chasing M3 comp. Guarantee it. And you'll probably be faster in it too.
I will say with the G80 series of cars, this is going to be more like a self-guided tour with the fucking radio playing whatever. If you're looking out the window and the radio's telling you exactly what you see on the tour, that's going to be what this is like because it's a manual. So it's not a fully guided tour, but it's still probably going to be much more held down by all the electronics. Germany is bad about it.
Mm-hmm.
Germany goes kind of, and I think that's because the European Union is actually that's a little bit too political, but I think that's because laws over there are a little bit too strict on how they do things.
Yeah.
So it really does, like these cars are very handholdy.
Yeah, and that's why I roll my eyes at the whole 400 horsepower is slow dumb shit.
Hey BMW, do yourself a favor. Come to Texas, put yourself right next to Hennessy, take some examples and start developing some cars here too. And even if you can't sell them in Europe, you can sell them here and they'll be a whole lot more fun than whatever you're making right now.
Oh, they're Europeans. I don't think they have anything to learn from us.
except for how to fucking wage war properly, but that's a whole nother discussion.
Okay, have fun editing this one.
I will.
Moving on to an actually good European car that I quite like, the Lotus Emira. I'm going to go with Emira because I don't care. I saw one of these things 2 weekends ago. It was the most gorgeous, beautiful thing I'd ever laid eyes on, and it was fucking quick.
Yeah, I have a picture of one passing me on the highway while I was driving the parents' trailer to Utah. They are extremely beautiful cars. Actually, we reacted. The video is up on YouTube right now if anybody wants to go watch it. Yes, this is a not so subtle plug to our fucking YouTube channel where this podcast will be going. We have a video up where we react to people crashing out, and this was one of the cars that crashed out. The dude went over the curb and then tried to save it and couldn't. But yeah, these are wonderful, wonderful, wonderful looking cars, and Lotus just has this long history of being fucking awesome.
So they're coming out with a new sport trim. It's got a sunroof. Oh my god, that must be amazing. 2-liter turbocharged engine from AMG. Geez, 414 horsepower in this one. It varies from model to model, which is
414 horsepower is like a sweet spot for something that light and aerodynamic.
Yup.
I mean, just look at this car. How much does it weigh?
It's only 2 pounds heavier than the Turbo SE, so 3,200 pounds curb weight. So it's a ton and a half.
That thing's light.
414 horsepower in a car that weighs a ton and a half.
Yeah, so
no
wait,
wonder it
look
goes
up,
0 to 60 in 3.9, 0 to 100 in 3.9 seconds.
Look up the FRS weight real quick. What's the FRS weight?
2,800 pounds.
Okay,
27
so this
to
is
28, yeah.
This is over double the horsepower of an FRS with just under another 50% of the weight.
Not
or
even
something like that.
It's like an extra 250 pounds. It's an extra eighth of a ton.
Oh, you're right. So
it weighs as much as an FRS with two people in the front.
Yeah, and
it's
double the horsepower.
No wonder these things are fucking quick. And they handle like a dream. Oh, Lotus, the only British car maker worth a damn. Because they make gorgeous shit like this, even if the engine is German.
I feel like Aston Martin really needs to get its shit together. The only time they've gotten their shit together recently is Formula One, and I feel like that's just because they found a way to cheat.
Oh,
which makes them more interesting.
8-speed DCT, which is not a manual, but a close second. I don't mind. That's in a sports car. A DCT, I will take.
It could be a lot worse. It could be that transmission we all hate. You know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know the one they put in the WRX. That's an email.
You hurt my soul with that one. I forgot about that, and you reminded me of bad things.
And it's 122, 123 grand in the US. So it's cheaper than a Carrera, half as expensive as a 911 GT3.
These cars hold their value semi-well, but I see that being under 100,000 in a couple years. It'll probably remain at right around, I want to say 90 to 110 for a while, but I have a feeling it's not going to remain anywhere near 130 for very long. That is a very nice car.
Oh, it is an amazing car.
Oh, yeah.
I want one. I can't afford one, but I want one.
Everybody wants one.
It's even more gorgeous than the sheet metal.
I want to get an Exige just to take it to autocross.
Yeah.
That's my goal.
I mean, you say that, but just take the FRS.
I plan to take the FRS, but I do want to take an Exige to autocross at some point. It'll be the coolest car there, and two, if I can drive it in any way that fucking makes Colin Chapman proud, I will probably be first in the competition pretty easily.
Fair enough. I will say the second gen twin is the platonic ideal of the car for that.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah, nothing else I have to say aside from fawning over it. They took the Emera and they put more power in it and they gave it a sunroof. Oh my god, it's gorgeous, and I want one. Moving on to not that. Ferrari, what the fuck are you doing? You used to make the most gorgeous sounding V12s in the world, and now you've built a milk float. What the fuck?
Oh, it's even worse because the price of this is $640,000.
What?
This thing is going to drive off the lot and lose $100,000 off its asking price. That's how this is gonna go. This is going to, as far as anybody is concerned, if they were allowed to lose price at the dealership, this would be halfway to delivery from Ferrari to the dealerships where they're going to be sold, and it would have lost $200,000.
And it really pains me that the interior is this beautiful.
The inside is good. The article actually does say this, by the way. It's one of the articles for this. I think it might be the one I sent you.
Yeah.
Says the interior is beautiful. The exterior is crap.
I I don't hate the front end. I like this style of front wing, actually. I think it's neat. But yeah, I mean, it...
You know what this looks like to me?
Uh,
The Ferrari Prius.
You're not wrong.
That's exactly what this is. This is the Ferrari Prius.
I will also say the Charger or Challenger, whatever EV, does the same thing with the front end. And when I saw it at an autocross, it was, I thought, probably the only good feature of that car. And then that car hit one cone and was bricked for the entire day.
It bricked?
It ran over a cone, and then it was parked, and then apparently it wouldn't turn back on again after that. And
That's terrible.
The amount of strength of will it took to keep my mouth shut about that. Because if I said what I was thinking, I would not have been invited back.
I wouldn't have helped myself very much. I'm like, I would have been like, I bet you're regretting that electric car purchase now.
Because the owner of the car was so proud of it. And he was talking about how amazing and neat the startup noise was. And I had to hold my tongue from telling him it sounded like something I can't say on YouTube.
You know what's amazing for a starting sound?
An actual engine.
Yeah, an actual engine. My FRS sounds better than any of those the electric cars with the fake startup noises. I'm sorry, but that's also because I have a full header system, like unequal length, and then downpipe, and then the N1 NVIDIA exhaust with a resonator. So the car is it's unrestrained loud, but it's a 4-cylinder. So it's not like deafening loud. It's just like this very rumbly loud.
So 1,035 horsepower, which, okay, that's nice, I guess.
Who cares? It's electric horsepower. It literally is meaningless.
Right. So it's kind of scuffed. 280 horsepower in the front, and then like 830 in the rear, which, okay, it's gonna handle weird. Also,
yeah,
5,000 pounds. 48.95, but like when fully loaded, it's gonna be 2.5 tons. My word, this thing's fat.
Hey, at least it doesn't have turbo in its name like the Taycan does, because fucking electric cars can't have turbos.
Is this the heaviest Ferrari ever built?
This is the heaviest, most expensive shitbox ever built. I want to say the Purosangue is going to be heavier. I'm not sure.
No, it is.
How heavy is the Purosangue?
That's 4,482 pounds. So,
are you joking?
The full-size SUV they're building is a quarter-ton lighter.
Ferrari, I have serious questions about who's running your company. I do. Whoever designed this. Oh, and there's somewhere in this article I remember something about the this car being partially designed by Apple developers.
Yes.
And I just want to say you need to fire them, and then once they're fired, you need to make sure they're blacklisted from ever working on a car ever again. And you'll thank me in about 5 years when this fails and you have to come up with something else. And I'm just going to give you this right now. I told you so.
I will say one thing. I will gloat.
Okay.
The year is 2026, 50 years after that infamous day in France. Ford is moving more or less completely out of the EV market and going back to their roots, and Ferrari is making 2.5-ton pieces of shit. And I like to think that Enzo is screaming in hell, seeing what has been done at his company.
Enzo was screaming in hell the moment they hired the people that fucking developed this car. It didn't take this article for him to be screaming. He's been screaming for probably the last decade about all the stupidity going on in his company.
And this is a fitting torture for one of the biggest bastards of the car industry.
But yeah, this is terrible.
It has paddles that adjust your regenerative braking. As you increase regen, you decrease power output. Why?
So they're trying to kill people.
Why? That...
Ferrari is spending a little bit too much time on the can we and not enough time on the should we.
As you approach a corner and want some deceleration, use the left paddle as you would to downshift a conventional Ferrari, then use the right paddle from the apex to add more power. Why? Because it's artificial. It's not like the system has to work this way. It's not like there has to be a trade-off between raw power output and regenerative capability. It doesn't have to happen. You put it in there to artificially create the experience of an actual transmission mated to an actual engine.
So they went full stupid and they created an electric car, but then they were like, maybe we should keep something for the Ferrari purists, and so they decided to take this faux system they have. They might as well have just gone full stupid and just made it exactly like Tesla, but with a Ferrari branding. And now that system's going to break almost immediately because it's proprietary probably, and then they're going to have massive problems with it, and anybody who did buy these cars is going to feel like they got ripped off. They're going to feel like they got ripped off as soon as they drive it off the fucking lot anyway, but...
What's the top-end Corvette? ZR1X?
ZR1X.
Huh. Okay. The ZR1X goes 0 to 60 in just shy of 1.9 seconds. This thing goes 0 to 62 in 2.5. So all that electronic bullshit in a $600,000, 2.5-ton electric piece of shit, and you're still slower than a $200,000 American supercar, hypercar. I'll just call it what it is. It's an American hypercar. Okay.
I don't know how they could possibly charge as much as they're charging for this car either. Like $640,000 is fucking extreme for something, one, this ugly, and two, this, like, it's gonna be $100,000 in a year. These things are gonna tank.
Like BMW's i7 before it, the interior is magical enough to make up for exterior design elements. No,
it's not.
That's not even true of the BMW. There is no interior you could put in that thing that makes me want to be seen dead driving it. The same is true of, as you so eloquently put it, the Ferrari Prius.
Yeah. I've seen the inside of the 7 Series cars. They're gorgeous interiors. I mean, you could have put that interior in anything. You could have not made it look like a Rolls-Royce Wraith and it would have been a better car. But that body style is the Rolls-Royce Wraith. And if you're going to spend that much money on a car, you might as well just spend another $100 and buy a Wraith. Let's be real here.
I mean, I will credit the car with one thing. That is one of the most gorgeous interiors I've ever seen. The problem is it's in this thing. And we even talked on a previous episode about these dials and this fusion of
this is the same interior from another car we were talking about, isn't it?
I think it's the same one. I think this is...
Yeah, they just decided
They released the interior, and this is now we know what it's being put in. And I really like, I love how they do the dials. I love how they, again, the fusion of digital and analog. I love it. It's just, it's in this thing, which is a $600,000, big numbers, big power, big weight, big price. Who cares?
Okay, so every picture of the house near this car,
Mm-hmm.
every time they add another picture, this house loses another $50,000 off its asking price. I'm not, that's how bad this thing is. Every picture with anything besides that car in it, whatever the car is around, lost money. I don't know what Ferrari was thinking. I really don't. If you wanted to make an electric Ferrari, you fucking refresh the F12 and make this a trim level.
Also, sky blue and electric yellow is
That
how
is
you know that the designer is colorblind.
how you know the designer is part of Apple.
Those are not the colors I would pick, but I have two perfectly functioning eyes. Unfortunately.
I would. I have two perfectly functional eyes. I would never even get to the color palette of this car. Just wouldn't fucking buy it at all.
And again, it weighs 500 pounds more than the Puro Sangue. You could fit a family of 4 in the Puro Sangue, and it wouldn't weigh as much as this thing does empty.
You know what? Let's compare this to something
fuck?
even bigger than the Pro Songway, right? Let's compare this. Go find. So, what does this thing weigh again? One last time.
Allegedly 4,895 pounds.
Okay, now do the new Rumblebee.
I don't know if they've announced a weight. Oh, okay. So it's lighter than the Rumblebee.
Barely lighter.
700 pounds, yeah.
At fucking half the size. I'm not kidding when I say this Ferrari probably. The way it looks, it does look like a Prius, but I can almost guarantee you the roofline barely comes up on that truck, probably to where the fucking glass starts on the truck. And yet it weighs 1,000 pounds less. Instead of 3,000 pounds less, which is what it should weigh. It's terrible.
I also just none of these the online reaction has been predictable. None of these critics have actually seen the design in person. I don't. You don't need to. Like,
a picture is worth 1,000 words, and this picture is all of the words are bad. Like, I don't know what else to say about this. This is it's seriously the
picture,
Prius Mark II.
The words are all just Italian screaming and swearing from Old Man Enzo.
This needs to be the same price as the Prius, and then the Koreans need to start racing it in the Prius series. That's the only thing where this thing would be fun is the Prius series.
I can't even say anything more about this. I think I've gotten out off my chest. I love the interior. I hate the exterior. I hate the concept as a whole. This is not a Ferrari. Ferrari, what the fuck are you doing?
I don't even like all of the interior of this car. I like the gauges and I like the infotainment system. It's minimal. It has everything you need, but it's minimalist enough not to be like super in the way if you're not looking at it, and that's a good thing. The rest of the interior, the tan and yellow is not working for me. I'm going to be honest with you, and I don't know if that's just one of the color options, but if you just blacked that out, it looked much better than it currently does, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It'd be hot as hell in the car if you blacked it out, but at least it looked better than that.
Yeah. And on that terrible disappointment, it's time to end. Thank you all very much for watching. We'll see you again next time.